Hey y'all, how's it going? It's your Army Queen, slash Hospitality Queen, Tierney, your positive pinky. So, it's been some great self care days. The past 2 days, I've been basically in bed most of the day today and pretty much all of yesterday because I had these bad sinus headaches. I mean, I get them all the time because of the chronic sinusitis, but I don't know. Something feels a little, might be a little more than that. I don't know. But only time will tell, as my friend Justin Arnold says. So, Justin, if you're watching this, no, I'm thinking of you and Kathy. Like, y'all are cute, okay? Let me stop. But not for real. But no, I mean, like, I think it's really important to have that awareness when things feel off in our body. Like, I think that's something that we sometimes don't always take into account. Like, we just kind of think it's no big deal. Like, but no, the art of mindfulness is key. Like, for real. Like, I'm just keeping it real here. Nah, but can we normalize checking in with each other? Like, that is just such a sexy thing in relationships is when you check in. I don't know. Like, I'm gonna be really blunt in this introduction, but I love my black dudes. And I love how they just check in. Like, there's some charm about them when they check in. Like, I mean, I love anyone to check in, but if a black dude checks in with me, so any black dudes, if you're watching this, hit me up. And there's nothing better than when a black dude likes your photo. Like, that it's gonna be a good day when they like your stories. And when they like your posts, and you're just like, yeah, like it's just like this euphoria that you've always waited for. You know what I mean? Like, but no, when they check in, like I don't know, there's just something about like I have this need for people to check in with me, like. Whether it's about the chronic sinusitis or when I have an actual sinus infection or whatever. And it's just like, it's hard to tell the difference. But it's like, there's something about it. Like, that's what I always loved about Flip. Like, he was always like, are you feeling better? Or how are you feeling? Or, I mean, I have a lot of black dudes that have asked me how I'm feeling. I tell you, hint, hint, keep doing it because I love that. Like, for real. Like, nah, but seriously, like, when they do that, it turns me on. Like, for real. But no, I mean, it's just something so simple. I mean, it's just like actions, not words. Like when people check in, you really believe that their actions align with their words, right? Because it's like if they keep checking in, you know that they actually care. Okay, let me stop. But nah, I mean, but not, and on the other same token, like that's why I like to check in with people because it gets me outside of myself. And I know that it's very selfish for me to expect people checking with me every day about the chronic sinusitis because it's like that would be exhausting. Like that would be unreasonable. But sometimes I'm like, seriously, you can't take 1 minute, like for real? Like, I mean, everyone works, it's like people act like, oh, I work long hours. And it's like, yeah, you can make time for at least not even 5 minutes, like seriously. But it's interesting how, like, sorry, it's kind of a TED talk, but no, it's interesting how like we notice the character defects in others, and some people probably say some shit like, it's not defects. But I mean, defects are not a bad thing. It just means a trait that we need to work on. But anyway, let me not get into that. But again, this is what happens when I take my vitamins at 4 in the morning. I don't know. I just got up mad early this morning. I need to stop doing that shit. Like, there's some days where I have to get up early because it's just like you want time to like, it's like you don't want to have so much self care time where you're like, okay, this is like isolation and this is like being in jail, but not for real. Like, because isolation is like being in jail if you think about it. Like, it feels so comfortable, but at the same time, it's very toxic, and it kills you. Like, literally, isolation kills you. Like, I've been there before and I'm so good at it, but it's like I need to stop being good at it because it's like, nah, I need to interact. And that's what's been so great. Like I've been socializing a lot and I've just been taking things one day at a time. Okay, where was I? But no, seriously, I mean having that interaction is so important. But it's like sometimes we do need the solitude, but there's a fine line between solitude and pure isolation. Like pure isolation is kind of like that's the point. And like sometimes, oh yeah, like sometimes you don't realize how much you're doing something until you see someone else do it, and you're like, oh god, like that's how I am. Like fucking seriously. Um, and it just makes you recognize. I mean, it's a good reminder, when people do things I used to do, and I'm like, wow, like that's growth right there, like for real, like you know what I mean. But But no, in all seriousness, it is, because it's like when you see things that you used to do and you see things that like you used to get so hung up about, and then you're just like, you know what? It's not even worth the time and energy. It's like life's too damn short. It's like, I mean, yeah, sure. Do I have times where I'm the queen of resentment? Yes. I mean, of course. I'm Irish Catholic. It's like, what do people expect? But at the end of the day, like, I can break the cycle with that because I can be more forgiving and I can be accepting, but at the same time, not take no bullshit from people. Like, people are throwing a bunch of bullshit. I can be like, nah, that's bullshit. I can call them out on their bullshit, even if they don't like it. It's like, even if they run away from the conflict and be like, like, and they have to have the last word, which is so, I hate that shit. I hate that shit just as much as I hate interrupting. Like, at least if someone's interrupting me, yeah, that's pretty fucking annoying. But at least and sometimes they use the excuse, oh, I'm trying to understand it. It's like, yeah, well, you could still wait your fucking turn. Okay, please stop. But no, seriously, I hate that shit. It's so rude. And it's just like, the thing I really fucking hate about interrupting is, first off, it's a very selfish behavior because it's like all you care about is yourself. People try to think I'm selfish. It's like they're the selfish ones. They're the one interrupting me when they know it bothers me. That's selfish. And that's disrespect right there. But anyway, I'm not going to make it a documentary, or at least try not to. Anyway, keyword try. But not honestly, because it's like, because basically when you're interrupting, like, basically you're saying something like, oh, what I have to say is more important. But sometimes it is because you're trying to get to the bottom of it and all that bullshit. But it's like, still, you have to. But anyway, let me not get into that. But no, seriously. But but nah. Got through a pretty vulnerable week. Valentine's Day was tough. I'm not gonna lie. Like, what people were posting, that kind of irked me. It's like they're posting all this, look at me, I'm out on a date with, it's like, be grateful they're alive. Seriously, because what I wouldn't give to be going on a date with Flip. Well, I never got the chance to do that. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, we got as far as vid chatting, talking on the phone, and stuff like that, but we never got a chance to really like get into it. But I got into it with other black dudes, so that's what's up. But nah, seriously, like, people got to be grateful for that, because that's why, like, like, recently, I've heard people complain about their boyfriend and like, oh, like, and I literally have to sit there and bite my tongue from not getting annoyed at them, because I'm just like, okay, like, yeah, you're annoyed at them, but at least they're alive, at least they're not dead, like, seriously, like, I really cannot stand that shit when people complain about their significant others. It's like, do you realize how lucky you are to have them still alive? Like, seriously, it's so frustrating. Like, I mean, people think they're frustrated with me and shit, but how about my frustration? People gotta realize that their frustrations are not the only things that are valid. Actually, other people's frustrations are just as valid, but I'm not gonna get into a whole documentary about that, so, whatever. But no, going back to it, I mean, seriously, like, and I'm not saying people can't complain about their, maybe I am saying that, but, like, there's no reason for them to complain because they're still alive. I mean, yeah, like, everyone complains about each other at some point. I mean, just because we don't say it to their face doesn't mean we're not complaining about it. We're just being discreet about it, because we're just like, I'm not going to tell them to their face, because I don't want to upset them and all this, people pleasing shit, right? But honestly, there were probably times when I was dating Flip and stuff like that, even though we never got a chance to go on dates. Damn. Oh, okay, maybe I shouldn't have done that. That hurt. Okay, just when I was healing. Yeah. Okay. I probably shouldn't have banged it like that. Well, I'm gonna have to clean it up. Oh man, just when I was healing. Oh god. Okay, probably shouldn't touch it. Um, but yeah, that's basically what I'm like in Irish Catholic mode, because it's just like, I mean, yeah, like, there's sometimes, I mean, people probably don't have parents, or probably, like, if I were to complain to them about, they'd be like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Like, be fucking grateful." You know what I mean? Or like sometimes when people talk about their grandparents still alive, and I get so resentful, I'm just like, seriously, be grateful they're still alive because I don't get that advantage. But it's like, I think when you've been through the grief long enough, you kind of accept it. And, it's also annoying when people are like, oh, just think of the happy memories and like, don't be sad about it. It's like, don't tell me how to grieve. Like, seriously. But I think each day gets easier with it. It's like last year at this time, it's kind of interesting because last year around this time I had a relapse. And I was like, I was definitely under the influence and stuff like that. And yeah, it's definitely comfortably numb, that's for sure. But anyway, and around, but yeah, it's kind of ironic how like I had another alcohol relapse. It was sooner than it was last year, but it was like weird because it was like almost like a year apart. It's like, okay, this is like freaky. This is like paranormal activity. Okay, why do I keep saying that? But nah, seriously, like, but nah, I mean, like, but here I am, 13 days sober, and I'm loving it. It's just like mental clarity you get, you just can't beat. Like, yeah, sure, I've had these, you know, bitch ass sinus headaches that have been fucking painful, but I don't have to drink over it. I can get through it sober. And yeah, I would rather feel things than run away from them. And you know, this is gonna be real vulnerable to share. I probably shouldn't share it, but I had a pretty bad blackout. That's how I bumped my chin, which probably didn't help that I bumped into it, but hey, it looks a lot better than it did a couple weeks ago. A couple weeks ago, it was a deep cut. I was like, oh shit, am I gonna have to go to the hospital and get stitches? I mean, I probably should have done that, but it's like after the whole CAT scan, all that shit. I was kind of like, do I really want to waste a Kobe if I don't have to? It's like, do I really want to take that shit out of savings if I'm not gonna get the answers I need? Like, that was just pointless. Like, I could have used that for something valuable. But anyway, these are mad long introductions, but no, in all seriousness, it's really important to be grateful for the people in our life that are still alive because one day they could be gone in the drop of a hat if we're not. I mean, seriously, like what's so crazy is that before Flip died, like even months before he died, we were like vid chatting all the time. And that's why the evening is so hard. And that's why I keep myself busy during the evening because, especially, I mean, yes, in the morning too, because yeah, he would send me good morning texts and, yeah. Um, I know he's still with me in presence. And it's just so much easier for people that haven't lost significant others to like preach and be like, oh, like, it's easier for you to move on. And it's like, I hate when people think that a breakup is the same as losing a significant other. No, the fuck it's not. Like, it's not the same thing. If anything at all, it's worse because it's like, at least with a breakup, you could still get back to that person because they're still alive. I mean, they're still in your life. It's not like they're 6 feet under in the ground or cremated. But like with Flip, I have no idea if he's 6 feet under or cremated. I mean, really, I didn't even go to his funeral because it was all the way in Baltimore. But hey, I could honor him in many ways, and people do have a point. Yeah, I can honor him in positive ways, but at the same time, it's like I have the right to feel. I mean, even a year later, like yeah, even probably 7 years from now, I'll still, because I think from now on, whenever I have vegan pizza, that's going to be a tradition to honor Flip. And people probably think it's like, oh, really? Like, you know, I understand why people, think the whole happy heavenly birthday is weird. Because, yeah, obviously they don't have a laptop in heaven, they don't have their cell phone, because pretty much, I mean, think about it. Like, it makes you wonder when you die, what do people do with your laptop and phone? Like, really? Like, do they just put it in the fire? Like, do they just, like, confiscate it for life? I mean, you just, things you don't think about. It's like, got me thinking, like, who's going to sing at my funeral? I mean, Whitney Houston's dead. I mean, who am I going to ask? And it's like, but I mean, God has his plan. Like, I mean, I used to think it was bullshit when people plan their funeral, but really you gotta think about that because it's like you gotta think. Okay, let me stop. But nah. But nah. I mean, all in all seriousness, like I think like
Flip's death has really taught me to be grateful about the people I'm with and about the people in my life, because, like, yes, do I still have frustrations towards them? Do I still have resentment towards them where I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Stop being, like, controlling and stop being this and that. But it gives me, like, a whole new perspective, like, kind of like, sorry, this is turning into TED Talk. But no, in all seriousness, like, there's a point to this, because, like, you know, it's true, because, like, honestly, like, I feel like when you experience grief to that level where it's not complicated grief and stuff, like, you really, like, have a deeper appreciation for it. You're like, wow, like, because, the crazy thing, and it's interesting, you know, it makes me wonder if that's why Flip was so distant. Like, even months before he died, he was, like, so distant. And it was like we were playing, like, video chat tag, like, or phone tag. Like, I would call him and he'd say, you know, and he always made time for me. And it's not like he didn't, like, at that point. But, I think, he was going through a lot. And I think that was God's way of setting him free, for real. Because, I mean, think about it. His mom died of lung cancer. One of his brothers died in a coma. So it's like he wanted to be with them, I mean, think about it. Like, and that's kind of how I feel with Flip. It's kind of like, that's why overall I'm more relaxed about death, because when I die, I'll be reunited with Flip, and I can, and I can, like, freestyle rap with him. I can't freestyle. But no, I mean, honestly, like, I think that's a positive way of looking at going on the next life, is you can be reunited with people that died. Like, but I'm going to do TLC, no Scrubs, and I hope y'all enjoy. All right. Yeah, should have felt that before. Scrub is the guy that thinks he's fly. He's also known as a buster. Always talking about what he wants and just sits on his broke ass. So no, I don't want your number, no. I don't wanna give you mine, no. I don't wanna meet you nowhere, no. Don't want none of your time, no. No, I don't want no scrub. Scrub is a guy that can't get no love from me. Hanging out the passenger side of his best friend's ride, trying to holler at me. No, I don't want no scrub. Scrub is the guy that can't get no love from me. Hanging out the passenger side of his best friend's ride, trying to holler at me. A scrub checking me, but his game is kinda weak, and I know that he cannot approach me, cause I'm looking like class and he's looking like this. Gonna get with a deadbeat ass. So no, I don't want your number, no. I don't wanna give you mine, and no. I don't wanna meet you nowhere, no. Don't want none of your time, no. No, I don't want no scrub. Scrub is a guy that can't get no love from me. Hanging out the passenger side of his best friend's ride, trying to holler at me. No, I don't want no scrub. Scrub is a guy that can't get no love from me. Hanging out the passenger side of his best friend's ride, trying to holler at me. You don't have a car and you're walking. Oh yes, son, I'm talking to you. You live at home with your mama. Oh yes, son, I'm talking to you. Have it shorty that you don't show love. Oh yes, son, I'm talking to you. Wanna get with me with no money? Oh no, I don't want no scrub. Yeah, I don't want no scrub. Yeah. You don't do what you say you're gonna do, but it's okay, cause you're tripping. Yeah, should've known that. should've known, yeah. I don't want no scrub. Scrub is the guy that can't get no love from me. Hanging at the passenger side of his best friend's ride, trying to holler at me. No, I don't want no scrub. Scrub is the guy that can't get no love from me. Hanging at the passenger side of his best friend's ride, trying to holler at me. Yeah. Yeah, I'm tripping, oh, yeah. About accountability, do we say you're gonna do? Actions, not words. Used to think that was bullshit, but no, it's not controlling too long. So I wanna communicate, because that's the only way a relationship's gonna work. Accountability is sexy, because you gotta do what you say you're gonna do. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I should've known. I shouldn't waste my time. Ooh, yeah. Well, yeah, I don't want no scrub. I don't wanna waste no time. For real, but for real, it's real. Oh, but we all be a trip. Oh, yeah. I don't know what to think. When you say one thing, you do another. Then again, I do that too. Even though I hate to admit it, it's something I gotta work on. But hey, don't we all? Oh, I'm tired of this shit, man. It's like you're so part-time, you don't even care. Maybe you do in a way that I don't understand. Oh, yeah, you can get out my house.